Yep.
What up, my guy?
What up, man?
Chilling, man. What's good with you?
Nothing much, man. I'm ready for some of this preseason football we got going on.
Oh yeah, we got some ball coming on tonight. Two games.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Um, so I definitely gotta give you a shout out. I appreciate you coming on the channel.
Yes, sir.
Since I've started it up, you've been one of the main guys that I've been talking to, and definitely showing love, and you've been showing support. I got to give you your flowers.
Appreciate that.
When people start tuning into this channel, definitely, most of you guys are probably already following this guy, but make sure you go subscribe to this man's channel if you want to go ahead and plug your stuff. So whoever watches this will get the information to be able to find you on YouTube.
Oh, for sure, man. Rio Robinson, Rambling with Rio on YouTube, man. At Rio_Robinson91, like you see in the little bubble right there, man. Pushing out constant Commanders content. And you'll find me on a bunch of other pages too. I try to, anybody who wants me on the show, I want to come on, man, because we all just out here. There's room for everybody to eat in this space, bro. Let's get it.
Definitely. That's what I was ready to say, man. Like, when did you start yours? You started yours, what, 2 years ago? Last year?
Last year. I started a pod in March. I started my YouTube channel last June 25th was my first video.
Right. I legit remember when you started yours, and like I seen your grind like from day one. But the thing that I always loved is like how passionate, like you're a true fan. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't doing this just for the glory and nothing like that. Like you doing this because you love this team. So it's great to see you come up and where you are today. And like you say, you always show love. Whoever wants to have you on their channel, you come and check them out. So like I said, really appreciate it over here at Command Respect TV. So I'm gonna start it off with something light. Did you get any good vacations in this year, this summer?
Vacations, nah, man. It's been constant work, and I get the closest I got to vacation is going to training camp and going to see the team up close. That's the closest I got to vacations, man. I've been working. If I'm not working, I'm doing content. If I'm not content, I'm with my kids, man. So I haven't got much vacation time, but it's the best time of year, man. It's time for football, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I'm jealous right now. I'm out in Cleveland, so I don't get the access to come to the training camp. I'm starting to actually miss living in Virginia, but I will be there for week one's game. So most likely I'll be able to run into you at the game, and we can link up and everything for sure. One of the things, I was watching one of your videos, and I don't know who you were on with, but you guys were talking about birthdays or something like that, and it came up and you was like, yeah, my birthday, blah blah, and I'm like, yo, we legit got the same birthday. That's crazy.
October 14th, Libra season.
That's crazy, man. Definitely crazy. Yeah, most definitely. So I gotta ask you, I know we ain't there yet, but we close. We getting there, we almost there. September 11th, the first game. But out of all the games on this schedule this year, what game are you most looking forward to?
I can't wait for Carson to go back to Philadelphia on Monday Night Football, bro. Like the theme of the season to me is Carson Wentz's revenge tour, because he gets 2 games versus the Eagles, and you know that atmosphere at the Link is going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be really toxic in that building. He gets to go back to Indianapolis, the team who scapegoated him for their entire failure of a 2021 season, when there are a multitude of other reasons why they failed. And he gets to start the season off at home versus the team, the Jacksonville Jags, the team of the game that pretty much summarized his whole season last year as a Jag. So it's just a whole Carson Wentz revenge story. All those games, I got them circled, and I'll be paying very close attention to them.
It's crazy you said that, because I've been saying over and over, like, this schedule is literally like storybook. Like this is something that you like watching a movie. Like whoever made this schedule, like they really fed into the whole Carson Wentz thing. Like start the season off Jacksonville, right off deck. The last person you seen, the person that, you know what I'm saying, you've been getting all this doubt and hate, you get to see them week one. That week one game is going to be so big. That's why I was glad that I was able to come to that one, because it's going to be lit, man. It's going to be crazy for sure.
It's going to be a good fan turnout too, because there was a lot of open practice last week.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. And I'm going to be right along in there acting a fool. We got to get this dub, most definitely. We definitely got to get that dub.
We gotta win big too. I don't want no cardiac arrest, typical Washington game, bro. I wanna give them like 34-12, 34-13 or something like that.
Yeah, we gotta knock them boys' doors off. I was watching last week the Hall of Fame game. I said, how dare Doug Peterson act like he's returning a Super Bowl caliber team and didn't play any of his players? I'm like, what is this, man? Like, are you serious?
The audacity.
Like, that's crazy.
I was trying to scout him. It wasn't
nothing. But the defense was trash, though. I mean, that the Raiders O-line, one play, I don't know if you've seen it. They opened up a hole so big my grandmother could have ran through there.
Yeah, he was. They was going crazy. Yeah, there's no reason for us not to dog them week 1.
Yeah,
like, I'm trying to be humble, but we should blow them out. If we are anything like our fans, like we think that anything that we envision for this team this year, they should knock the doors off the Jags.
Right. Week one, we got to set the tempo. So also, since you've been blessed and you're able to go to a lot of the training camps, practices, I have to ask you, you're the guy to go to with these questions, you know, and I respect your judgment and stuff like that. So what player on offense and then defense has stood out the most thus far in training camp to you?
On offense, pre-injury, easily Cole Turner, rookie, 5th round pick out of Nevada. He looks like the starting tight end. And it doesn't look like it's accident. Like if you didn't know Logan Thomas was injured, it just would look like a normal occurrence that this guy was the number 1 tight end on the team. He got all the reps up until he tweaked his hamstring when Percy Butler tackled him last Friday. But Cole Turner has been the most impressive player to me because I wasn't expecting him to be that impressive. If I was to go one other than that, Jahan Dotson, he looks absolutely the part of a starting receiver opposite Terry. Like we're going to have a 1A, 1B type situation rather than Terry's the 1, who this guy's the 2, this guy's the 3. Jahan Dotson catches everything. He probably has the best hands on the team. Hands are sponges, man. He has a great personality. If you've seen his mic'd up, he carries himself like Terry. We're not going to have any Josh Doxson issues out of Jahan Dotson. And defensively, Montez Sweat looks like he's about to go crazy this season. He looks like we're finally going to turn up and see that double-digit 12 to 15 sack type performance out of him, especially considering that Chase, as far as what I can see, he's going to miss some time. He doesn't look close to ready yet. And Montez looks unbelievable. Him and Bobby McCain are having an awesome training camp right now.
Okay, that's definitely good. I love that you said Cole Turner, man. I thought it was I was so upset when I found out he had the whole hamstring situation because I kept stressing on a lot of my videos like how important it was that he was getting these first team reps with John Bates nursing his injury, and then we know Logan Thomas is out, so he was with the first team getting those reps, and then next thing you know, the injury, hopefully, you know, that doesn't linger too long and he can get back on the field because I think that guy is going to be an absolute beast.
He's the one, man. He's the one. I like him. I like him.
Yeah. And I was, I've been talking about him in the sense of like, we know Logan Thomas is going to miss some time. And as a coach, like, let me ask you this. So as a coach, right, if you're starting the season and Cole Turner is an absolute stud and he's getting a lot of red zone targets and making plays, right? Do you roll with the hot hand moving forward, or would you plug Logan Thomas back in his rightful spot once he came back off?
You roll with that hot hand and slowly matriculate Logan right back into the offense. You know, he can get out there and get in some 2 tight end sets. If that boy looked like what he's looked like in camp when the real games and the bright lights come on, we got us one. Yeah. And it can be tight end by committee, but you can't take that off the field once it gets going, man. We're not about to rattle the confidence of a balling rookie because the vet came back. What it shows me is that we have depth in our tight end room now. We have a bunch of different versatile guys in our tight end room, and I love Logan, veteran, baller. Well, he's balled out that one season with us. He was going to ball last year. He got hurt, but I can't act like Logan Thomas is Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
I can't act like he's Dallas Goedert or any of those guys. Like, if one of these young kids, especially this 5th round pick out of Nevada, is balling, he might be the guy. He might be the guy, and Logan would just we will mix it. That's gonna piss some fans off because people think you're downing or like hating on a player when you say stuff like that. But upgrades are upgrades, and if you have a guy with a hot hand who's coming on in his rookie year, you don't just snatch him out the game because the veteran comes back of an injury.
Yeah, and that was my point of view. And when I said it, I got a little pushback on it. I'm like, I felt exactly how you felt. I'm like, ultimately, what it's about is getting better. I know we fall in love with these players and we fall in love with the stories and stuff like that, but that's why you got to root for the name on the front of the jersey and not the name on the back sometimes, because you're able to separate yourself from that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so like the Jahan, I want to bring up the Jahan Dotson thing. So I think what people fail to realize is we drafted Terry McLaurin in the 3rd round. When he came into the league, he was expected to be, a big special teams guy. We didn't really know what we were going to get from him, and he ended up turning out to be an actual dog, right? Mm-hmm. So we got lucky there. But we drafted Jahan Dotson in the 1st round. So it's like people get a little upset when you start to mention like, hey, could he possibly be better than it's like that should be a conversation. You take a guy in the 1st round.
His trajectory should, and the expectation should be that he's the best receiver on the team one day, because we drafted him with the 16th pick of the draft in comparison to drafting Terry in the 3rd round and getting absolutely lucky with this amazing human that we took there. And you can see the chatter starting amongst players, amongst media, amongst fans, because they're watching this boy win.
Yeah.
He had a whole offseason with the quarterback. Terry's still getting used to the quarterback because he missed it because he rightfully held out for his contract. Carson loves him some Jahan Dotson, bro.
Oh, I know.
He looks for him early and often.
That man is, absolutely nasty, filthy. And like I said, people got, mixed up in the whole, we're looking for a 2 to Terry. Yeah, we were looking for a 2, but we might end up with just another 1, and I'm fine with that. So
it looks like it may be the case, man. That's why they had him out there returning punts early in camp. You saw how quickly he stopped really getting any reps with the punt team, because he is the bona fide starting receiver opposite Terry, and they have big plans for this kid.
Right.
They love this kid.
Right. So that leads me to, what player do you mostly want to see this preseason? Like, what guy is it out there that you want to see this preseason that could possibly make an impact, whether that's a bottom of the roster guy or a guy that you expect big things from this year?
All right, so I got 2 answers for this. My first answer comes from a place of pessimism. I want to see as much Jamin Davis as possible. He should not get the veteran take your pads off after 1st quarter treatment in the preseason. He needs to be out getting live game reps, getting his eyes right, and getting his instincts right, and learning how to play without thinking. He needs to be playing halves of football in the preseason. I need to see Jamin Davis out there. Like, he shouldn't come out when Cole Holcomb comes out, because he has a longer way to go than Cole Holcomb. I need to see a lot of Jamin Davis, but the guy I'm looking forward to most in the preseason isn't even someone who I want to be an impact player for this team anytime soon. It's the rookie, Sam Howell. I got to see him play. I want to see him play as much as possible. I wish we could just go from Wentz to him in the preseason, because we know who Taylor Heineke is.
Right.
To get his versus the 2s. He's going to run. He's going to dive at pylons, and he's going to throw passes that sit in the air for an hour and a half to get to a receiver. Yeah. I want to see the quarterback we drafted in the 5th round with a live arm. His arm is as live as Wentz's, despite being 5 inches shorter.
Yeah.
I want to see him play in the preseason. I want to see, does he have the traits? How does he translate to the next level? And if there's any little bit of flash that, we may have something here one day. He is who I'm most excited to see in the preseason.
Okay. Definitely respectable. I know for me, I want to see, and I think I messaged you after the draft, and we were talking a little bit about this guy. I want to see Percy Butler on the defense. I just feel like he's a mystery. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You've been at camp, so you've been able to see him in person. But as far as like any of the footage that's been released online, from what I've seen, I haven't, unless I've missed it, I haven't seen anything with him flashing across the screen. I know he has freakish measurables, speed, everything like that. But I definitely hope that he gets a lot of playing time this preseason. I want to see what he's able to do, because if we get another steal on that back end and this guy's flying around making plays, Houston, other teams gonna have a problem. So
for sure. And the thing is, him and Derek Forrest, they're like auditioning for the same role. So they're mixing in and out a lot. What I've seen from Percy, he's a headhunter. Him and Jeremy Reeves are the two guys that do not care that the guys on the field wear the same uniform as them. They're out there trying to take heads off. The tackle that hurt Cole Turner was unnecessary. He didn't even have to do it. He took Cole to the ground. All of a sudden, he came up limping. But you love the intensity. He's been in position a couple times to make plays on the ball, but you got that transition to the next level, man. Especially when you didn't come from a Power 5 conference, Power 5 school. Like it's a transition. The preseason games, the rookie class in general can be a good cop-out answer here, just all of them.
Yeah.
I want to see those guys, because we didn't even talk about Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson, at the last practice I went to 2 days ago, he was getting most of the ones snaps, and Gibson was running with the twos. I don't know what that was about. I think it was just preseason prep. I don't know what it's about, but there was like a period of practice where Gibson was on the sideline with a resistance band and working on ball holding while they had Robinson run with the ones. So there's going to be, these rookies are going to get on the field very soon. We're going to see what they are very soon this year, man.
Yeah. It's good that you brought up Brian Robinson, because I know the reaction to the draft, like with a lot of these guys, I know for me personally, I was not like, I actually, for the most part, loved what we did in the draft. And I understood what Ron was doing in this draft. I mean, the year prior, we took Jamin Davis, hired it. Let's just say what it is. We took Jamin Davis higher than what he should have been drafted. That's just the truth of the matter. So this year, they couldn't afford to do that. They had to get people that had experience, guys that can come in right away and make an impact on this team. And I look at a back like Brian Robinson, and I feel like he was slept on just due to the fact of, look at the guys he played behind in college. I mean, come on now. But the guy out of the backfield reported this training camp, he's making catches.
Natural hands.
He's a thumper. He can run in between the tackles. He looks for punishment. He's a glutton for punishment. I think we're in good hands with this running back room. I think we could, by the end of the season, we could have the best running back room in the East, and that's just I'm sticking to that. I'm definitely sticking to that.
It's very possible, and I'll say this. Antonio Gibson, don't start putting that ball on the ground, because this boy out of Bama, he ready in the wings. He's ready to take off as soon as you start doing that. So let's just have a good group by committee. Everybody eats, and there's no weak link in the room, man. I can't wait to see the running game.
Right. So I'm gonna bring this question up. And at the end of the day, I don't really care what the main media has to say about us, because at the end of the day, we follow this. We know more about this team than they know. We follow this team on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of times they just hunt for stories and want to make topics when they're absolutely wrong. But why do you think that the main media always, when they talk about us, they always this offseason bring up our offensive line and saying basically that our offensive line is horrible? Why do you think that's a storyline for them for some reason?
I don't know. They got to find a reason to try to knock it down. The local and national media, they want Carson Wentz to fail here so badly. It's kind of weird. I've met this dude a couple of times. That's a nice guy. Man just want to love Jesus and play football, and somehow people always find a reason to hate this man. He's such a nice dude, man. Like, they want things to go south so badly here. Like, our line was really good last year. Yeah. We lost Brandon Sheriff. He's good. Not elite. He's good. We lost Eric Flowers, who was solid with us, but other than his tenure here, has equivocated to nothing in the NFL. But I don't see why our line is so bad. Sam Cosmi is really good. I think Sam Cosmi is going to be the best lineman on the team. Yeah. Charles Leno's solid. If we can get Trey Turner back to his Carolina form and not his Pittsburgh and LA form, that's a solid, used to be 3-time Pro Bowler, right guard, and he's like 30 years old. Andrew
Right.
Norwell, very solid. Chase Roulier is a dog. There's no issues up front. As long as they're healthy, there's no issues up front. Literally, there's nothing stopping the offense but itself in the quarterback. Like Carson has everything at his disposal to have a good offense. I would say this is the best assortment of weapons he's had since he's been in the league by far.
Without question. I mean, it's night and day what we have over here. And I bring up the discussion of, every time people bring up Carson Wentz with the Colts, they always say, well, he had an all-pro running back. And I had this discussion with a buddy of mine, and I said, name the team last that won a Super Bowl with
1,800
all pro running back. I mean, it just don't. You need more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool and dandy, but at the end of the day, that's not going to get it done.
And they'll talk about our O-line and forget that the Colts were 30th in pass protection last year.
Yeah,
and they had Carson playing Alex Smith game manager style football when that's not his style. He's a volume and rhythm thrower. He's not throw the ball 18 to 20 times in a game guy. Like, he needs to build that. And he's like a shooter. He has to build. He's a volume guy. Like, he has to throw the ball some more. And his picks last year. First of all, another thing, people act like Carson Wentz is a pick machine. Carson Wentz throws about 7 picks a year. He does not. He's had 2 seasons. 2020 was the only bad season he's had in his career. And people like to sit here and act like the guy is a scrub. His rookie year, he threw for 16 and 14. But 2020, the COVID year, the year he lost his job to Jalen Hurts, he went 16 and 15. And that's the only bad year he's had in his career. And people like to hang that year and act like we can erase his MVP form of 2017, but we can act like 2020 is all he's ever done. And it's very confusing to me. It's very confusing why he's such a polarizing guy, but I hope that he goes crazy, because I'm predicting him to be the first quarterback I've seen in our lifetime to throw for 30 touchdowns. It hasn't happened since Sonny Jurgensen in 67, and that's the most egregious stat I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. And if that happens, you already know what that means. We're in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Most definitely. So let me ask you this. So we've all off season Ron Rivera, which me personally, I love Ron. And the reason I love Ron is because no matter whether we agree with a situation or not, he always keeps it a buck with us. He's always honest. And for the most part, whatever he says, that's what happens. So they're talking about this so-called plan with Curtis Samuel. What do you feel about that? Do you think that they're saying it has nothing to do with last year and the injury? Do you think that that's accurate, or you think they're just, kind of trying to play it smooth here?
I think it's a little bit of both, but whatever the plan is, I'm with it, because the 3 times I've seen him practice this year, my guy Roger, the OG, was good, man. 3 times I've seen him practice, including last Saturday, where he was out there at the open practice. He looks great. No one can cover him. He's always open. He's flashing. He catches everything. He gives the offense, like, he's the cherry on top of this offense. With Terry and Dotson on the outside, him being like, he was the originator. He was Debo before Debo, in case people forgot he was the original Samuel.
Right.
But if he's out there and healthy, our offense it's limitless, because we're running 2-3 back sets. We're putting him in the slot. We're putting him on the outside. We're putting him all over the place. Like, the way that he opens up so many elements for Scott to get in his bag offensively. So whatever the plan is, I'm cool with it. Ron put his foot down and said Curtis will be playing on Saturday, and the starters are going 15 to 20 reps. So let's see how it goes.
That's the greatest thing I heard, because literally I did a video earlier and I'm like, man, I'm excited that Curtis Samuel is playing this preseason, because we didn't get to see absolutely nothing last year.
Also nervous though.
Yeah, at the same time, but just to be able to see this guy on the field and he's supposedly all the way healthy, I mean, this is endless. And I know for me personally, let me see how you feel about this, but because I heard Ron, if you notice, they keep mentioning when they talk about, we know we got Alex Erickson and we got Dax Milne, who's going to be doing a lot of the kickoff and punt return duties, but he keeps saying, if you notice, Jahan is still in the question for that. I personally don't want Jahan there full time. But
Emergency.
if we get in a spot where we need some to swing momentum or get in a good
Like
field
Djax.
position, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Put him out there. And also, I would put Curtis Samuel out there too.
I don't even know if I can trust it at this point. I just need him to be able to suit up for the offense, man. I don't even want him getting a handoff in the preseason, a screen pass. I want him only running vertical routes or routes where he has to run by people. I don't even want him in the line of collision or line of fire during the preseason. Jamin Davis hit him. I almost had a heart attack at the open practice on Saturday, bro. I don't even want him near contact. Let him run vertical routes and let him run by people, deep posts and stuff like that. I don't need no screens or reverses or pitches to Curtis until 9-11 when them Jaguars come to town.
But you see, for Curtis Samuel, though, this is the thing. You want to see verticals, but he's more prone to get hurt on the vertical than he is around
True,
the
because
line
you
of
got to hit
scrimmage.
that top end speed, that hammy and that groin.
That hamstring and that groin, man. I'm telling you, I done played in some different leagues and stuff like that. That's one thing I will say. Those groins and those hamstrings, you'll think you're good, get all of the massages, treatment, everything, right? And you go back out there and you just, for whatever reason, you're not good. So it's crazy, man.
Those in turf toe, them Jones will come back all day, every day.
Right. We got a comment here. Roger Smith, timing with the receivers and tight ends will take a little time. We should be complementary style of offense in the beginning and then open it up after a few games. Most definitely.
I can see that. That's the methodical way to do it. But at some point we're gonna abandon that run and Scott gonna start airing that joint out.
Yeah. Scott Turner has been waiting. I would love to have been in one of those coaching meetings because I know Scott Turner over the last couple of years was just absolutely, and they're like, dude, what am I supposed to do with this? You know what I'm saying?
I know, like you draw up a plan and then you're like, but this quarterback can't make half of these throws, so you got to scrap all these pages of the playbook. Like, he finally has a guy. There's no excuse this year. There's no excuse all around this year. We should be able to produce. And Del Rio,
oh man,
he has no excuse. They blew the hell out my guy at FedEx Field last weekend.
Oh man, I love when you call him Mega Del Rio, man. That's perfect.
Mega
man.
Jack.
It's like, dude, you can't be, when you put that performance that you put out last season, you just need to keep your mouth shut. Because my man, my DB coach, Chris Harris, is sitting in the wings.
He's the guy.
And me and Rico was on here last week and we talked about it. And like, man, I want him to be the DC so bad. Like, that's just what I want to happen.
Players gravitate and relate to him more. He brings all the energy. When you go out and watch a practice, he's like all you hear on the field,
right?
Coaching wise, like he brings all the energy. He's up in the receiver's face talking trash to him. Like this guy has every makings of a defensive coordinator. And if Jack don't get these boys right this year, that's gonna be who's running this defensive show over here.
Right. Now that leads me into one of the last questions I have for you. What player on the defense specifically do you feel has to have a tremendous season in order for this team to possibly make a deep playoff run?
I'm gonna take a cheap answer and just say the front four. Front four, and I'm counting whenever Chase comes back. The conglomerate of Chase, Payne, Allen, and Sweat. Y'all are 4 very premium first round picks. If y'all don't come together in unison and ball out, get consistent pressure, and be the dominant unit that national media pundits and fans all over the place think you should be. You know how we are in Madden. If y'all don't live up to that, they hold the whole team back because there's no reason they're not dominant. There's no reason that they're even blockable. They're animals. Like Chase and Sweat are 2 of the most athletic edges in the league who need to add more to their pass rush plan and tool bag when it comes to rushing the passer. Jonathan Allen was borderline all-pro last year, and Deron Payne hasn't even hit his cap yet. There is no reason that they aren't a dominant group, and they aren't the heartbeat of this football team. So I'm going to D-line, bro.
That was the frustrating thing, like, because I talked to some of my homeboys that's fans of other teams, And when you talk about us, that's the first thing they bring up is the D line, and the
Oh,
main
D-line
media,
crazy.
the D line crazy.
But they
There
not
is,
though.
dude. But the thing, like, there is no reason. There is no. I was so glad when I see. I feel like it was a little too late, but when Sam Mills the third, when Ron finally axed this man and booted him out the door, I was so happy. I'm like, man, it took this long for you to realize, Ron, that this dude is not the answer. There's no way you got all that talent on that D line, and they're not. They should be absolutely taking over games. Like they should be. Like quarterbacks should be in the backfield pissing down their leg. Like, you know what I'm
It
saying?
should be a national thing that people know that our D line is like unequitable, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason why they've regressed and they haven't took off and performed to their draft slating yet. But
Yeah.
this is the year. They got to put it together this year.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. So we got the Panthers this weekend. Can't wait to see this game. Also, are you comfortable with our situation on the special? I got to bring up special teams. Are you comfortable with Joey Sly? Do you think that? Okay, he's how has he been looking in training camp?
He's lights out, man. He's making everything. The leg is strong. My only thing, you're built like a linebacker, Joey Sly. You are not a linebacker. If a kick gets blocked, you let those other 10 guys go after it. You have one job, and you get paid $1 million, $2 million a year to kick the ball. Do not try to make a tackle ever again. Please. I watched it happen right in front of my row at the stadium last year.
Oh, man.
Seattle. This man was trying to run down the kick return. Please don't make tackles kickers. I know you built, my guy. You built like a linebacker. You're not a linebacker. Just kick the ball, man.
It's so crazy because every time I see him on video, I'm like, this dude is crazy stocky. Like he Brocky. Like, but like you said, don't be jumping in there. You know what I'm saying? Pull a Teddy Bridgewater and just jump out the way.
You're not that guy.
Yeah, you're not that guy. Just let it slide. It is what it is. Fight to live to fight another day. All right.
No more Chris Blewett situations here.
Yeah.
We have a kicker.
Yeah. Crazy, man. That situation last year, I couldn't believe it. It was embarrassing. Definitely embarrassing. But the preseason games ready to start, so I'm not gonna hold you up too much. Definitely got to do this again. Have you on the channel
also, my guy.
Yeah, most definitely. Let me know whenever you want to bring me on. We're gonna do this again. Like I said, I really appreciate you coming on my channel and showing some love. I really appreciate that. But go ahead and get out of here. Go ahead and plug your channel just one more time. Like I said, I know most of the people in the chat probably already know your channel, but now that they're here, go ahead and plug your channel so they know where to find you.
For sure, man. Rambling with Rio Robinson. Rio Robinson on YouTube at Rio_Robinson91. Make sure y'all sub to my guy over here, Command Respect TV, my guy RVA, man. This is what it's about, man. There's nothing like the beginning of starting your content off and putting in that grind and trying to build it up, man. I'm no professionalist. I've been doing this for 1 year. I'm still learning stuff every day. And it just takes a grind. It takes a want. And it takes thick skin because there's going to be a lot of people that say some crazy stuff to you along the way. Just keep pushing, man. Keep it coming out. And any questions you have for me, I got you, my guy.
I definitely appreciate that, man. All right, with that, it's your boy RVA from VA, Richmond to be exact. Peace.
Deuces.